Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Nice to have you on with us. We sure appreciate it. If you can come on live, of course, we love that, right? We understand not everybody can, but we appreciate it. I talked to quite a few people on the weekend, said, you know what, we don't catch you live, but we're on the podcast. The doctor is in. So we appreciate that. You can always watch it later. Lisa, how are you? Number one, Lucille, Andrea, Niagara Falls, Sandy in Chilliwack, British Columbia. Right at the top, there he is, Brahim. And Barbara Sean, how are you? Nellie, good morning to you. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming on. Rosa in La Belle Ville de Montréal. And Wendy in Markham. Sandy in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Kevin, there he is from Oshawa. Fran, I can see you this morning, Fran. Orangeville, Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Hi, Bonnie. Bonnie's in Little Britain and Cheryl is in Lighthouse Cove. And that was Cheryl. Sharon, how are you, Sharon, in Kansas? Lily in Cochrane, Yvonne in Petawawa, Carol in Mount Pearl, Newfoundland, and Brahim is saying happy belated Father's Day. Yeah. You know what my mother used? Hi, Janice. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Diane. Thanks for coming on. Hi, Maureen in Boca Raton, Maryland, Charlottetown. You know what my mother, hi, Shirley. You know what my mother used to say? It's always Father's Day. Sue. Bolton, Donna, Dennis. My mom was pretty funny. Cecilia, Shediac, Nouveau Brunswick. Kristen, Saskatchewan. Yvonne, hi, Yvonne, in Williams Lake, British Columbia. There's my friend Danny Lay in Iron Bridge. Wanda, Ridgeway. Jeanette, how are you? Kristen. And saying good morning to Cindy, Annie, and Linda. We love Annie and Linda. Hi, Sue. Eileen, we love all Lindas. Jeanette. Mary saying hello to Dave and Helga. Hi, Francis in Vaughan. Hi, John. Owen Sound. Donna. And Fran says, yeah, she's out of the clouds. Carol, West Virginia. Amber, New Jersey. Hi, Lise. And Lori in Cambridge. Dear friends to this program. Trish, Steph, how are you? Sherry is in Mississauga. Cheryl in West Virginia. Oh, those are just beautiful songs, aren't they? Roxanne and Bonnie. Steph is saying hi from Cambridge. Judy, Port Perry, Jeanette. Okay, let's get going, guys. Jeanette said she agrees with my mom. It's always Father's Day. Hi, Gail. Who was in? Hi, Teresa and Dunedin. Catherine, Norma. Okay, guys. Okay, let's look at a few studies this morning. Okay. New study out on vitamin D. Have you ever heard of it? Vitamin D, the sun, steak, and steel. Sun, steak, and steel. A new study out on vitamin D and telomeres. Now, you guys know what telomeres are, right? They're protective on your DNA. Little wicks, like candle wicks or shoelace. You know the little, what would that be? Like plastic wicks at the end of your shoelaces. Okay? We didn't even know this, guys. Do you know that when I was in school in the 70s, I know you guys are thinking of the days of Noah, like my grandchildren. Hey, Grandpa, when were you born? In the days of Noah? And of course, I'm always talking about history. And And they're interested, but they say, Grandpa, like, you go way back. Yeah, I know. Okay? But, guys, when they say there's nothing new under the sun, well, they're not talking about the human body. I could do a whole program or 2 or 3 or more on what I didn't know in school. Okay? Maybe I'll do that. But one thing I didn't know is we had the existence of telomeres. And I actually wrote an article. It turned into a book for a friend of mine. He asked me to write an article on creation. And I was saying, listen, if, for example, if we would have known about telomeres, like, incredible. I didn't know anything about telomeres, okay? And telomeres, the length of them, and now they can measure them, like, it's incredible. And they're very protective, but if they're shorter, you're going to age quickly. And what they've proven with this study, okay, let me get it for you so that you just, okay. They did a study of 1,000 men and women, half given placebo, the other half given a not even a high dose of vitamin D, 2,000 IUs. And then they tested their telomeres. And those who were taking the vitamin D rather than the placebo actually lengthened their telomeres to the extent that they said it will stop your biological clock, your aging clock, by 3 years. 2,000 IUs. That's enough for a mouse. You get 10,000 IUs in the sun in 20 minutes. And I highly recommend, guys, getting your vitamin D as much as possible from the sun. Now, that's not always possible. And therefore, vitamin D is an important supplement. It should be in everybody's house, including people that live in Florida. Okay? And so telomeres and telomere length, which can be measured, like I said, you know, I never even knew they existed. I said in the article that, you know, we didn't even know. We knew about DNA. Anyway, the length of telomeres, guys, isn't that important? And vitamin D wins again. Study after study after study. Okay? And again, you know my little saying, because when I was in school in the 1970s, guys, this actually happened. Okay? Linus Pauling won a Nobel Prize in medicine for his study of vitamin C. Okay? And guys, I like vitamin C. I do. The real one, which is coffee. But you guys think I'm joking about that, but I'm not. Okay? Now, Linus Pauling won a Nobel Prize in medicine in studying vitamin C. Good for him. I studied what Linus Pauling published. I studied it in school. Fascinated by it. But what he missed was by one letter in the alphabet. Vitamin C, yeah, you need it. But the key is not vitamin C to your body, is vitamin D in your body. Okay? Vitamin D in your body. That is a key, and the more they study it, the more they, let me read you another study here. I think I have it. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Okay. Let me see. Right here. Okay. 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 Another study on vitamin D. Okay? And the benefits of the sun. I prefer sunlight. And sunlight, by the way, guys, even if you can't get out and, get sunbathing today. And remember, your solar panels are the biggest ones, are your arms and legs. Okay? So, you don't need to burn, guys. 20 minutes, 10,000 IUs. And your body tops up. It does not go past that. And you don't have to worry, I got too much vitamin D. You can get too much sun and burn. I don't want that. Okay? Nobody espouses that. Nobody tells you to go do that. Well, if they do, they don't know what they're talking about. I'll tell you another thing about your skin. Work your skin inside out. When you eat properly and you lay off sugar, now your skin is not glycated. And those bad oils, fast foods, processed foods, really make for disaster on your skin with the sun. That's why a lot of people burn in the sun. It's amazing how many thousands of people over the years have given testimony that when they eat properly, when they get off the junk, when they get off sugar, when they get off the crappy carbohydrates and they eat a lot of eggs, meat, and cheese, their skin is much more resilient to sun. Testimony after testimony after testimony, guys. So your solar panels are your arms and legs. I mean, you get sun in the face, and I want you to get sunlight in your eyeballs. Guys, there's a lot of research on this too. Let your eyes see the sun without sunglasses if you can. Why? Because when the sun gets in your eyes, is there a song about that? Anyway, when sun gets in your eyeballs, you produce melatonin. Your third eye, your pineal gland, produces melatonin. You top up melatonin. It's an antioxidant. It's actually good for you. I don't like it necessarily as a supplement. I want you to get, if you just look in the sun, like don't look directly at the sun, but if you get sunlight, especially in the morning, try not to wear sunglasses. Guys, this has been researched. Tops up your melatonin. And melatonin you need, especially at night, to get a good night's sleep. And a supplement, okay? I had never been big on that. I'm much bigger on you getting sunlight. But the research on it, okay, again, study after study. These are all new. Every single day, you get vitamin D, you got stronger bones. Like even medicine agrees to that. Okay? Even medicine. Because you get calcium absorption. I want you to eat your calcium. I don't want you to take calcium supplements. I want you to eat your calcium. Eggs, meat, cheese, dairy, lots of everybody knows dairy's got lots of calcium. But you want to eat that rather than take it as a supplement, because the supplement of calcium will not get to its intended destination. You want to eat calcium and take vitamin D, because vitamin D helps you absorb calcium. So does magnesium. But the vitamin K2 directs the calcium out of your bloodstream into your bones. That's why if you're going to take a vitamin D supplement, take it with vitamin K2. Rock solid immunity. Again, study after study, vitamin D and your T cells, your Navy SEALs of your immune system. Vitamin D, guys, it's so backwards that when you go, let's say you, a loved one or whatever, friends, family, whatever, you hear the word cancer, they go to an oncologist, and an oncologist does not talk to them about vitamin D. It's too bad. The studies are incredible. Not only anti-aging like we talked about, but vitamin D is anti-cancer. And people, by the way, melanoma, which is a skin cancer, the most aggressive type, are people that don't get enough vitamin D from the sun. It's a fact. It's a fact. And people, the sun. Yeah, you need it. Rather than vilify it. Because they bought the whole thing of the sunscreen disorder. And people are lathering up. And they're full of carcinogen. I did say it. But now the FDA has said it. But it's still a big industry because people bought the lie of it. Okay? So, I'm reading an article the other day just on vitamin D again. And I said this during COVID. Remember when I said this? I get a migraine when I think of what they did in COVID. And how that was manufactured, by the way. The truth has come out. Unreal. The vaccines were ready before the virus came. Anyway. Okay? What did I say about the sun and COVID, right? And remember during tuberculosis and the plagues, in hospitals, they used to bring patients out and wheel them out and put them on the rooftop of the hospital to get sunlight. And they've forgotten all that. The sun and the immune system. The sun is the best nutrient that you can get. Sun, and then I had steak. Okay? And then I had steak. Sun on top. I started the book Sun, Steak, and Steel. I started with the sun. And the more they research it, the more and more and more, it's one thing after another. Okay? And Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir, okay? I know I'm preaching to the choir. Okay. Let me see. What else we got here? Okay. This one here, a recent study found that doing 10 body weight squats, okay? No weights on you, just body weight, meaning you go down, 10 times like you would in a squat. You can actually get up against the wall if you need that to squat. Get up and slide down against the wall. Put your back against the wall and go into a knee bend, a squat. Okay? Doing 10 of those every 5 minutes, every 45 minutes during an 8.5 hour period of sitting. So you got a job. And I always used to tell my patients, well, your job is sedentary. I had a very sedentary job. I sat most of the day because I had patients. Now I try and move around and try and do, squats and stuff just to, but I spent a lot of time in my office with patients. I was sitting. Now, I always went to the gym. I've always had good habits like that. But they're showing that 10 body squats every 45 minutes is more effective for blood sugar regulation than a single 30-minute walk. And I know a lot of people, they love to go for a walk when they get a chance, and that is so good for you. Guys, I love walking. Okay? I love walking. I do. I've been walking for years, and before that, I was jogging. I jogged I told you the story of my dad. I started with my father. Okay? Thought of my dad yesterday, Father's Day, and I think of him every day. I miss my father. But I wanted to be around him, so when he started jogging in 1968, guess what? Tony Jr. at the time, that was me. Now I got a Tony Jr. Tony Jr. Jr. I went running with my dad. And I was 16 years old. And I never stopped till I was 50. And then I started walking. And I hit the gym. I try and stay strong. Stay stronger, okay? A recent study found that doing 10 body weight squats every 45 minutes is more effective for blood sugar regulation than a single 30-minute walk. Okay, so you can do it. If you can, do it. Okay. Somebody was asking the other day, what were they asking here? Oh, you know what? I'm going to do this maybe tomorrow. A new study out on oil of oregano. Have you ever heard of it? Okay, let's do that tomorrow. Okay, because there's a new study and I want to pontificate on it a bit. Okay, somebody was asking on the, I missed it. Okay, I think it was Sue, asking about, Dr. Martin, why, okay, what is it that, why I am gaining weight and I eat less than I used to? Okay? And then I said, well, I didn't answer it because I forgot it. I missed it. And then I saw it. Okay? So let me answer this. Okay? Generally. Okay? There's exceptions, but let me give you a step-by-step of what happens, especially to women, when they get hormones. They look at food sideways and they gain weight. Again, I've got to take the pyramid out so that you get this and what happens. Okay, so I'm going to take my pyramid, which I did in my office on a regular basis every day. I wanted to teach hormones or hormones 101. Let me give you a little thing of what happens after 40, okay? So, see my chart here? Okay, so those of you listening on a podcast, you can't see it, but envision a pyramid. On the top is the thyroid. On the bottom, the wide end bottom of the pyramid, you have your ovaries, which are releasing estrogen and progesterone, okay? And then you have your cortisol, because it's coming out of your adrenals. That's halfway up the pyramid. In the middle, I've got insulin coming out of the pancreas, okay? And at the top of the pyramid, the thyroid. They're all connected. Guys, they're all connected. Ladies, you're beautiful. You're a woman, but you're complicated. Men, we ain't complicated. Okay? You're not complicated, men, but women complicated. Okay? Beautiful, but complicated. Okay, now, after 40, a lot of things can happen in the body. Primarily, what happens is progesterone drops first. That is very significant. People don't realize this, how important progesterone is for the production, okay, even of cortisol. You need that. Progesterone drops in perimenopause. It's dropping. Okay? What happens? Well, it robs your cortisol. And what if you're stressed? It robs it even more. Anyway, that allows estrogen to be dominant. Okay? And it's not like women don't have estrogen. Even if it's coming down, it's coming down. Yes, it is coming down. Dr. Martin, I don't understand. My doctor said my estrogen is low. Yeah. But compared to progesterone, it's higher than your progesterone. That creates havoc in the body. Okay? When estrogen is dominant, the thyroid, okay? The body, and I got a little circle over here that I didn't even mention, is your liver, because it's very important. Your liver gets affected by this. Why? Because T4, okay, thyroid T4 needs to be converted to T3 in the liver. And so if you got a bad diet and you're creating fat in your liver, now your thyroid is slowing down even more because you're not converting T4 to T3 and estrogen isn't being cleared out of the liver. That slows the thyroid to a crawl. And it's hard to measure it because your TSH is showing, it's normal. But you don't feel normal. You look at food sideways and you're gaining weight. You're losing hair. Your eyebrows are thinning out. Your skin is drier. Your privates are drier. Everything is drying up and you're wondering why. Well, now you have an imbalance in this pyramid. The thyroid is slowed down. The doctors can't measure it. If they can't measure it, they don't know what to do about it. Oh, it's normal. It's not normal. You're out of whack. It ain't your fault. It's not your fault. Your body's changed. And now now add stress, anxiety, life, family dynamics, relationships. Add that to the mix. A sickness in the family, or financial, or emotional. You guys, add that to the mix, and now you've thrown this pyramid into a spin. From the thyroid to estrogen, progesterone, to cortisol, and now insulin. And you get insulin resistance, and you get more inflammation in the body, and your body is completely out of whack. Not your fault. It's not your fault. And that's why, I forgot to answer it the other day. Although I do talk about hormones just about on a daily basis, don't I? Okay, I had to answer that. And guys, look, here's what, again, I had a protocol at the office, okay? It always started with the diet. You go very low carb, low sugar, because that helps your hormones. And I would elevate their progesterone, and that's why I created the menopausal formula that actually elevates progesterone and dims out extra estrogen. You need estrogen, guys, ladies. You need estrogen, but you don't want it to be dominant over progesterone. That's the key. Doctors don't understand. Well, your estrogen's gone down. I'm going to give you estrogen. I don't like that. I don't like that. It's progesterone that needs to come up. And it, like measuring, they don't even know how to measure it. And then you got your cortisol. You got to fix that. Your diet really helps with the thyroid because of what happens in the liver. So if you cut out the sugar, you're going to have a much better conversion of T4 to T3 and for your thyroid function. It's a fact. Anyway. Okay. I got excited there for a minute. Okay, guys, we got a great week coming. Got lots of studies here. I'm just looking at some more. And, yeah. Okay. We'll try and get to all of these if we can. I'd love to be able to catch up on all the studies I wanted to bring to you. Anywho. Okay, guys, we love you dearly. And if you have any questions for Q&A Friday, get them in at info@martinclinic.com. info@martinclinic.com. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.